Hold on, let me move this cup so I don't spill something. I was literally sitting here today and yesterday thinking I'm just going to mind my own business. I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want anybody to bother me. When you do videos like this on this particular topic of politics, it gets really depressing because you have to read a lot of stuff and watch a lot of stuff that's really, really disgusting today. Anyway, the story just came across the wires and it was so alarming that I just turned on the camera and I started talking. I haven't written out any notes or a script or anything. So please forgive me if I get a little tongue tied here and there or just can't find the words. But yeah, this article just came across on the acting head of Social Security threatening to close down the agency, if you can believe that. I can't. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, the unholy alliance between the evangelical church and this group of, shall we call them thugs, because literally they're thugs, in an attempt to get policies that you agree with passed and put into force through the government, this is what it leads to. They have accepted literally the bottom of the barrel. They've accepted anybody who pretends to agree with them on a whole range of cultural and religious issues, even though the man at the top obviously couldn't care less about any of those issues. But, a lot of us said during the first term and during, even before the first term, that this president is ignorant of a lot of things that presidents need to know about in order to effectively run the country. And his ignorance has led him to appoint people who are equally ignorant and also people who aren't ignorant but who pretend to be, so they will appear to be in agreement with him on everything, because if you don't pass the loyalty test, that you agree with him on every single thing, no matter how stupid or how insane, you're out. So that's I don't know what's happening here. I've never heard of this guy who's the acting head of Social Security right now, Leland Dudek. Don't know a thing about him and don't really care. I know he's acting like an imbecile here, but let me just go through the story with you real quick. It's really unbelievable. The acting Social Security head consults with the Justice Department on a threat to close the agency. What in the world is this all about? Acting Social Security Commissioner Leland Dudek said Friday that he is consulting with agency lawyers and the Justice Department as he threatens to shut down the agency in response to a court ruling um, blocking Elon Musk's team from accessing sensitive taxpayer data. Judge Ellen Lipton Hollander of the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland issued a 2-week temporary restraining order Thursday that prohibits Social Security officials from sharing personally identifiable information, PII, with Musk's U.S. Doge service, which has been empowered to carry out the cost cutting the cost cutting across the government. Hollander wrote that Doge essentially engaged in a fishing expedition at Social Security in search of a fraud epidemic based on little more than suspicion. Um, sorry, I lost my place. Yeah, and they never identified or articulated even a single reason for which the Doge team needs unlimited access to SSA's entire record system. And that's exactly right. Why have they gotten all this information and all this access to all these agencies when they haven't even articulated a specific reason for needing it? Today, I saw Elon Musk is going into the Pentagon and they're going to show him our defense plans against China. What in the world does he need that for? But anyway, back to Social Security. It's like one fire after the other. You don't know where to start and where to stop. It just goes on and on. We're living in a crazy, crazy time right now. Um, anyway, so basically what's going on here is the judge has said Doge is on a fishing expedition So I want to limit their access. Now, look at the response. Let me see. Where's the response here? Okay. Yeah, down here. But in an interview Friday with the Washington Post, Dudek argued, get this, that the judge's ruling was overly broad. I guess he can't figure out who's on the Doge team and who's not. Anyway, he said the judge's ruling was overly broad and that a reference to Doge affiliates could apply to all employees who access personally identifiable information, or PII, because they are obligated to cooperate with Doge. Seriously? He's saying that this could include every employee at Social Security because apparently they have been asked to cooperate with Doge. This is crazy town. This is insane. So Dudek, who is the acting head, said the agency plans to file an affidavit as soon as Friday, today, asking Hollander to clarify language in her ruling that he criticized as ambiguous, overly broad, and weirdly written. Come on. Yeah, this is what's weirdly written is what he is demanding. These people literally live in an upside down world. It's so crazy. Everything in this agency is PII, Dudek said, or personally identifiable information. Unless I get clarification, I'll just start to shut it down. I don't have much of a choice here. Talk about making your base love you. Let's see all those checks get cut off. You know, what, 60% or so of his voters are over retirement age? Usually when somebody wants to become a dictator, they try to appease their base. They try to pacify the people who supported them. They even give, little bonuses out to them, like maybe they get a little more in Social Security. But seriously, they're talking about cutting it off, and it's not just anybody, it's the head of the agency, the acting head. It's unbelievable. Such a dramatic move would be unprecedented in the agency's history, and would immediately begin halting benefit payments for millions of Americans. I would like to see the protests that erupt from that. One plaintiff in the lawsuit at the heart of the ruling said Friday that the judge's intention was clear, of course it was, keep Doge out, and accused Dudek of acting like a child who didn't get his way. Yep, that's right. And look at this. For almost 90 years, Social Security has never missed a paycheck. But 60 days into this administration, Social Security is now on the brink. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. That's and the evangelical church brought this to us because they were willing to compromise literally everything because Trump said, I will stand against abortion. Look, I'm a conservative and a Christian for all my life. Not all my life, but since I could think and reason things out. And I'm opposed to abortion, but not like this. Not like this. And I'm certainly not, he already appointed judges that overturned Roe. So what more is it that he can actually do? I mean, in the 2024 election, they were still saying, well, I oppose abortion, so we have to vote for Trump again. But he had already solved the abortion problem. And during the campaign, he was on the same page basically with Kamala Harris because he said, okay, I support abortion up to, I think it was 15 weeks or something like that. But these hardcore anti-abortion people, they don't accept even one day. You can't have an abortion after one day of being pregnant. So, but they were willing to accept it. Why? Why? Despite knowing of his incompetence, despite knowing of his ignorance, despite knowing of his callousness, all these things, didn't care. He's going to stop abortion, which he had already done. That had already been accomplished. But they wanted him again. And I'm not even sure why the second time around. It seems their anger is just so high. They just really want to throw the book at the rest of the world. And he was their battering ram. He was their way to do it. And this is what we're ending up with. I said during the first term, let Trump be Trump, he will cause such a disaster that within 6 months, the country won't be able to take it anymore and we'll all be in revolt. But they didn't let him be himself during the first term, and that's why I think we're having to suffer through the second term. Anyway, God help us, seriously. For Christians, we really got to go to our knees in prayer every day. If you love this country, if you want to see it, do better, I'm convinced the weapons of the world aren't the weapons we fight with. We fight with spiritual weapons, and our most powerful spiritual weapon is prayer and repentance. So let's keep that in mind. And that's about it. I just wanted to come on and bring the story to your attention, and ask all of you to pray, to keep praying for America, keep praying for our people, and keep praying for God's forgiveness and his patience with us and his renewal for us. Yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you watching. If you want to support Christian, conservative, but non-MAGA media, I'm one of the channels that is that, one of the few. Most non-MAGA channels are either liberal or they're conservative, but secular conservative. There's very few actual Christian channels who do have a conservative view of Christianity and politics that are non-MAGA. So if this is a place for you, subscribe, and I'd like to have you join us. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.